Chapter 7. The Psychic. Megan sat in the garden, enjoying the late afternoon sun with Nathan. They looked up as Luke walked across the grass.
Hello, dear. Did you have a good day?
Fine. You see, I told you I would remember. Nathan and I are going to have fun while you ladies chat. Isn't that right?
Megan laughed and went to get ready to leave. She drove in her own car to her friend's house. The front door was open, and she walked into the hall. Lucy saw her.
Megan, come in and join us. I'm so glad you came.
So am I. Oh, look at that table. Lucy, you shouldn't have done all that.
The table was laid with all kinds of sandwiches, pies, cakes, and biscuits. There were pots of different kinds of tea from all over the world.
Come over and say hello first. You know most of the people here, but I want you to meet someone.
Megan followed Lucy across the room.
Rose is a very special person. She can see into the future. She can see beyond our world. She's amazing.
You mean she's a psychic?
Yes. Isn't it exciting?
Megan looked at Rose. She was a pretty woman with bright eyes. She looked up as Megan walked towards her.
Rose, this is Megan.
Hello, Megan.
Rose held Megan's hands and looked into her face. Suddenly, Rose became very still. She seemed to be frozen or hypnotized. She stared deeply into Megan's eyes, and when she spoke, she sounded shocked.
Oh my God! Your husband is dead!
No, he can't be. He's at home, looking after our son.
Megan took away her hands, and Rose's face turned white, her eyes closed, and she fell to the floor. Lucy ran to her.
She's fainted. She has seen a death.
It can't be true. I left him half an hour ago.
Megan ran from the room into the hall. She picked up the telephone and dialed her own number. Luke answered.
Hello?
Luke, is that you?
Well, yes. Who did you think it would be?
Oh, nobody. Nothing. I just wanted to check that everything was all right.
Megan, I am able to look after a 7-year-old boy, you know.
Megan walked back into Lucy's living room. Rose was sitting on the settee drinking tea. Nobody said any more about it. Megan tried to forget about it. She had something to eat and chatted with different people. When she was back at home that evening, she told Luke what had happened. Luke became strangely angry.
Why do you listen to these stupid old women? I know you shouldn't have gone there.
Come on, Luke. There's no need to get angry. She isn't a stupid old woman, and she didn't mean to hurt anyone.
Hurt? The woman is dangerous, filling your head with lies, and you, silly enough to believe her.
Luke, please don't shout. Nathan will hear you.
But Nathan had already heard them both, and he was frightened.
Mummy, come up and say good night.
I'm coming, love.
Upstairs in his room, Nathan was almost in tears. He put out his arms and held Megan tightly.
Why is Daddy so angry, Mummy? What's the matter with him? He's not the same. He couldn't do the barbecue. He doesn't even remember our fisherman story.
Don't worry. It's because of the accident. He's lost a bit of his memory. The doctors told me that might happen.
But why is he angry about the lady at the tea party?
I don't know, darling. I expect it's all because of the accident. He was very ill for a long time. But he'll get completely better soon. Don't worry.
What about the people on the telephone?
What people? There is nobody on the telephone, darling. You're imagining things. Now, it's very late. Time for boys to be asleep. And you've got the football match tomorrow, haven't you? You'll need lots of energy for that if you want to win.
We will win, Mummy. You'll see.
I'm sure you will. So, go to sleep now.
Megan kissed Nathan and turned off the light. Chapter 8. The Past Strikes Back. Luke left for work early the next morning. He was still annoyed about the psychic at the tea party. He was also embarrassed about the quarrel he had had with Megan, and ashamed that Nathan had heard them. When he got into his office, he sat at his desk and looked out of the window. He telephoned Megan and asked her to come to the office later. He would clear up things between them. Then he would feel better. Then he sat quietly and watched the world go by. He wanted to be alone for a while, but a few minutes later someone arrived to see him. A young man walked into his office. He looked about 25 years old, and he spoke to Luke as if he knew him.
Hello, Mr. Harrison. It's nice to meet you again, and good to see you looking so well after that terrible accident. Are you all right now?
Luke was a bit puzzled. He put out his hand to shake hands with the young man.
Well, I'm very well, thank you. But I don't think we've met, have we?
Of course we have. You remember, about the new children's home. I think everything is settled now. We should be able to start on it any time now.
Look, I'm very sorry. I think there has been a mistake. First of all, this company is not going to build a children's home. Secondly, you and I have never spoken about building a children's home, or anything, in fact. I have never seen you before.
The young man was starting to get annoyed.
Now look here. Don't try those tricks on me.
These are no tricks, young man.
The young man went straight up to Luke. He put his face right in front of Luke's.
Do you know what? I think there is a big trick here. Because if you were really Luke Harrison, you'd certainly know me.
For a moment, Luke was shocked. If he was really Luke Harrison? Then he spoke.
Now, just what exactly are you trying to say? I advise you to think carefully before you say any more.
Don't think you can threaten me. It's you who is in the dangerous position, not me.
That's enough. Just get out of my office. Now!
Luke walked towards the young man, and the young man walked towards the door. But as he opened the door, the young man had the last word.
Remember, he who dares wins.
Then he walked out and slammed the door behind him. Luke was shaking. How did the young man know about the expression? It was something that Luke and Jake had used between them. Who was this man? Luke sat down and lit a cigarette. The telephone in front of him rang. He picked it up.
Hello? Is that Luke Harrison?
Yes, it is. Who is speaking?
Well, it doesn't really matter who is speaking. It's what I have to say that is important.
Oh, yes, it does matter. Who are you?
Be quiet and listen. I've got news for you. Bad news. It's about that new office block you're building.
The voice was slow, teasing him. Luke spoke sharply into the telephone.
Who are you? And what about my office block?
Well, you see, there's been an accident. Fire. A nasty fire. And it's burned your office block. There's not much left of it now. Sad, really. Just when it was nearly finished.
Luke was really frightened. He shouted into the phone.
What are you talking about? Who are you? And what has happened to my office block?
Oh dear. Don't you understand English? I said a fire.
There was a click at the other end. The line was dead. Luke threw the phone down and covered his face with his hands.
Oh, no. No, it can't be. No.
He stood up, pulled his jacket off his chair, and ran out of the room. Mary looked up from her typewriter in surprise.
Are you going out, Mr. Harrison? Don't forget the meeting this afternoon, will you?
But Luke wasn't listening. The door slammed, and he was gone.